So we're going to look at solving for x. We're going to look at solving for x when we have an equation that has a square root. And we've already talked about when you have a quadratic equation, which is squared, how we end up taking the square root to solve it, because that's the inverse operation. Well, the inverse operation of square root is to square it. So we're going to kind of go in reverse here. So when I have an equation like this, I always want to do my algebraic part first. So I have a 3 in front of this radical, so what I'm going to do first is I'm going to divide both sides by 3. I didn't have any additions or subtractions that needed to be done. So when I divide, that goes to 1, so that leaves me with the square root of x minus 2 equals 2. And then, from this point, I want to get rid of that radical sign, that square root. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to square both sides. What I do to one side, I've got to do to the other. The square root and the squared are inverse. They will cancel out, so that leaves me with x minus 2 equals 4. And then my last step is going to be to add the 2 to both sides to solve for x. So x equals 6. So that's how you solve when you have a square root and you're trying to solve for the value of x. So let's do b. This is number 10 on the review. I have 4 times the square root of x equals 12. So once again, what we're going to do first is we're going to divide both sides by 4. I don't have any additions or subtractions. So I'm going to divide both sides by 4. That's going to go to 1, so that'll leave me with square root of x equals 3. And then to get rid of the radical, I'm going to square both sides. So that's going to give me x equals 9. And I'm actually done at this point because there's nothing else I can do there. X is 9. If you want to check your answers, you can plug in 9 for x. If this was 4 times the square root of 9, the square root of 9 is 3, and 4 times 3 is 12. For this one, if I plug in 6 minus 2, because that's why I got my answer, 6 minus 2 is 4. 3 times the square root of 4 is 6. Square root of 4 is 2, so that works. All right, let's do the last one. And this is going to be part C for number 10. So we're going to have the square root of x plus 42 equals 5. Now, I don't have any additions or subtractions to do with this one. All I need to do is just alleviate the radical. So this one's already ready to square both sides. So I'm going to square both sides, and that's going to give me x plus 42 on this side and 25 on this side. And then I want to isolate the x and get it by itself, so I'm going to subtract 42 from both sides. So x is going to equal negative 17. And that's your answer. And that's how you solve with square roots.